Harvest of the Ag Plus Trials plot has finished. We received a lot of valuable data that has provided helpful insights into products and practices. Now we would like to give you a summary of that data. Our soybean seed and variety plot yielded quite well with a range of 61.4 bushels per acre up to 72 bushels per acre, giving a 10.6 bushel variance. The three highest yielding varieties were the High Soy 34 E80 at 72 bushels, NK S31 E35 at 71.4 bushel, and the NK N35 E3 at 70.8 bushel per acre. The GMO corn hybrid plot yields range from 167.1 bushels per acre up to 215 bushels, for a total variance of 47.9 bushels. The three highest yielding hybrids were the FS 62 ZV1 at 215 bushels, FS 619 4V at 212.9 bushels, and in third place, the NK 1026 3330 at 207.6 bushels per acre. Of the conventional hybrids, the top yielder was the FS 55T00 at 206.5 bushels per acre. For the high yield corn plot, as you can see in these tables, the high yield section out-yielded the control section by nearly 13 bushels. Unfortunately, more were needed to make up for the input cost, giving a net loss of $54.38. Similarly, high yield soybeans yielded 79 bushels per acre, which is 6.5 bushels per acre higher than the control section. However, again, this gave a net loss of $6.79. There are several adjustments that need to be made on this program for the next year to give us a positive ROI. In the starter fertilizer plot, we saw increases in yield when comparing the in-furrow, side-banded, and both in-furrow and side-banded sections with the control section. After calculating the ROI, there was a gain in the side-banded and both side-banded and in-furrow sections, but a loss in the in-furrow application. Our nitrogen plot showed increases in yield, especially in the starter and side dress, and starter, side dress, and late season nitrogen sections. As far as ROI, the starter section had a loss, but the other two treated sections had positive returns. A downside that we saw after harvest was that several of the small plots just did not give good yield data. By that we mean that the yields were extremely high or low and did not correlate with the other sections right next to them. This was due to the small area in which the trials were performed and as well the lack of replications. Next year we'll be modifying these small plots to provide better data. Lastly, to get the results from our corn emergence test, we hand-shelled ears from each color or day of the emergence. Day 1 calculated at 223 bushels per acre and represents 100%. Day 2 was at 182 bushels per acre for a 19% drop. Day 3 yielded 143 bushels per acre for a 36% loss. Day 4, 150 bushels per acre for a 33% loss. And day 5 only yielded 121 bushels per acre for a 46% yield loss. Many things have been learned from the trials plot this year. Here are some of the highlights. Yield averages for the entire plot, regardless of the trial or applications, were 67 bushels per acre for soybeans and 210 bushels per acre for corn. This is higher than the average yields in the surrounding area that have similar soils and receive similar rainfall. One of the things that this can be accredited to is the dry fertilizer application that was made on the entire plot in the spring. We applied VRT lime, potash, and MAP treated with phosphorus stabilizer. We also applied 100 pounds of AMS, 100 pounds of pelletized lime, and 15 pounds of zinc sulfate. This gave a good base fertility to start with and lasted throughout the growing season. Although we had a dry July and extremely dry August, overall our crops really did not show symptoms of terrible drought stress. This could as well be due to the solid base fertility and root formation earlier in the year. Another thing that we saw extremely important this year was the timing of nitrogen applications. By spreading out our nitrogen over the course of the season, we were able to lower the total nitrogen applied by 31 units and at the same time gain 13 bushels per acre in our high yield corn plot. There's a big visual difference as well with the section where the nitrogen was all put on up front. It fired up nearly a month before the high yield section where it was spread out through the year. Next big thing we noticed is how micronutrient applications at key growth stages, V5 and V12 on corn and V5 and R3 on soybeans, can be extremely beneficial. On corn, the early stage is when the plant determines how many rows around the ear will have, and at the later stages, it is determining the length or the kernels per row. On soybeans, at V5, the plant is determining the number of nodes it will have, and at R3 is critical for pod fill. We need to ensure as much plant health as possible during these stages in order to increase yields. Lastly, I'd like to detail the importance of boron applications. Boron is a highly leachable nutrient similar to nitrogen and sulfur, especially in our soils that have low organic matter content. Because of this, boron is normally deficient, and multiple applications throughout the year show significant yield increases. For this reason, in our high yield corn plot, we apply boron in the starter fertilizer, at side dress, and then again in a foliar application. We appreciate you watching this video and your interest in the Ag Plus Trials plot throughout the year. If you have any questions, please contact us.